Recording, but we should be there in a moment. Right, yeah, we're good. Should have had notification of that. So let me just still a few more coming in. Right. Nice one. Before we go any further, we've got with today's, there's a little bit of a role play section, a bit of a kind of client interview that Alex wants to do. Does anyone want to put themselves forward to do that? He needs a bit of a volunteer, guinea pig. Anyone want to raise their hand or pipe up? Otherwise, I'll do it. I'm happy to do it, Alex, if no one else steps forward.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Give them time just to take it all in.
No problem. Yeah, we'll get cracking then. I think that's good. We've got a good number in here. We'll crack on then. So again, for anyone that wasn't here yesterday, this is LegitFit Sessions. It's kind of our series of talks to supply you with sales and growth strategies for your business as we head into the new year. Yesterday, if you were here, we had Nikki from FBDA. He was highlighting the importance of knowing your numbers to help accelerate your business. For anyone who wasn't here, my name's Tom. I'm the Strategic Partnerships Manager here at LegitFit. We've kind of, just to let you know how we've arrived here over the past 12 months, we've been teaming up with some of the industry's key figures to create a network of support for our customers and theirs. Purpose of this basically is to offer advice and guidance in areas that we're not experts in, basically. So we've called the experts in. The 4 talks this week are looking at ways to attack 2023. It is just around the corner now. I'm sure as business owners yourselves in the fitness industry, you'll appreciate that one of the biggest challenges is retaining clients. I think it was in the kind of little chat we had before yesterday's session, it was actually raised then. I think someone did say it was one of the issues they're having. And I read the other day, I think it was a report that Shane, you sent around, the average length of client engagement is just under 8 months in the industry. So a real kind of issue there, people not sticking around. So today we've got Alex from SAOR Consultancy. He'll be give you some ideas on how to retain those clients for 12 months and more. So yeah, a little bit longer than that 8-month period. SAOR and LegitFit's relationship stretches back a little bit further than this year. Sorry, another one. But in 2022, we've actually decided to work a little more closely together. We have actually quite a few shared customers as well. And for those unaware of who SAOR are, they have a global focus with presence in the UK, Ireland, all the way over to Australia, and they specialize in the sales, service, and systems within a fitness brand, offering business advice to increase lead conversion, build sales confidence, and master your local area marketing. Alex, hand over to you for 30 seconds to a minute, just a quick background, kind of bio, maybe what you're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, so thanks guys, thanks for having me on, Tom. So I guess before SAOR, I have about going into my 13th year now in the fitness industry. And I began my career out in Canada. So first Toronto, then in Calgary out in Alberta. And before I came back to this side of the Atlantic, I worked with a team of 120 personal trainers over 15 different locations across British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. And one thing we really prided ourselves on was being able to deliver that service and retain our clients for long term, whether that be in one-on-one or in small group training. And the one area that we really honed in on was the goal setting side of things. And I could have talked about sales today as well, but I know there's a lot of other talks going on through sales. So I wanted to offer something a little bit different, and I guess a bit of a gap or an opportunity that I've seen in the market now since I've come back. And this is what I hope to take you guys through today, because one thing that really helped us build our client base, we had just under 2,000 clients before I came back. And some of them had stayed with us for 10, 11, 12 years in some of the clubs. I know there's a little bit shorter, but for the most part, we really treat it like we were inviting them to our house. We were hosting the party, and how do we best, I guess, facilitate their change, help them along the journey, because it's easy to retain a client and train a client when they're when they're dialed in, they're ready to go, they're invested. But the ones that need that little bit of an extra push, that little bit of digging into why they want to make the change, is what's going to allow you to keep the majority of your clients for a long term. So hopefully you guys resonate with some of the things today. Take the notes, whatever sticks with you, and you'll hopefully walk away with a few key takeaways, a few golden nuggets that you can take into your business, into your personal training clients, and make them raving fans into your company. And at the end of the day, if you've got those clients raving about you, then there's little marketing you have to do as your referrals start to build up.
Brilliant. Thanks, Alex. Lots to look forward to then. I'll hand back to you in a moment. I just wanted to run through a little bit of housekeeping on Google Meets again, just along the bottom, just for your kind of just everyone to be aware. You've got your microphone, camera, captions. You can raise your hand if Alex might have any questions, get an idea of who's doing what. You can raise your hand there. And just along to the bottom right, the kind of middle icon there is, I think you've got the middle icon in this this version with us hosting, but there's a speech bubble there. If you click on that, you access to basically a little bit of a message board, so you can put any questions you have in there as we go along, and we can maybe pick those up at the end. So yeah, I think Alex, back to you now. Thank you.
All right, we'll take it away. So I guess for today, guys, like I was mentioning just in the intro there, our learning objectives are going to be how to create a roadmap for clients so that they're clear with their plan moving forward. One of the big indications of a client not sticking to the plan, or wanting to freeze, wanting to cancel, is that they don't know what they have yet to look forward to. We're going to go through asking great questions in the initial goal setting to really build that value, build that rapport, and earn the trust from your prospective clients. Keep them for 12 months plus by showing them what their plan's going to look like, so they know what they get to look forward to if they're starting in January, what they have to look forward to in March, in August, in December, the following month. So you start to create that behavior change through there, and then obviously creating the behavior change to get the results and build the raving fans. And you'll build those raving fans by getting those results and delivering on the promise that you made to them on day one. So if they said they wanted to, say, increase their energy, reduce their back pain, their knee pain for X, Y, or Z, that we actually deliver on that. So they've now had a life-changing event happen where they can now go for a walk, or they can lose the weight that they've been putting on for the last little while, and they generally feel better about themselves. So the overview, so we'll be going through the importance and the why behind that initial consultation. Sometimes this can be rushed, or we feel bad about prying into what generally is making them tick. So we'll go into that, how to be useful and caring, increase your value to your members, how to establish the rapport, trust, and confidence so that members see that positive impact of the personal training, and it's not just we just want to take their money, get them, and then see them on their way. And then the behavior change model and how that can impact your clients. So it all really starts with that needs assessment and that goal setting portion with your clients. So there's 4 building blocks that I really rely on when it comes to this. So the first one is that peak attitude. So psychologists say that it takes 7 seconds for someone to form a first impression of you. So if you're meeting them in person or it's virtually, either way, it's going to be through your smile, your eye contact, and the body language that you've got in that session. And that really is the foundation to the building blocks that come after, in the building rapport, the goal setting, and providing the solutions. And it earns you the right to ask those deeper questions to really figure out why they want to make the change. They'll say that it's to lose weight, to feel better, to reduce health risks, whatever it might be, but there's something deeper that has driven them to seek out help to you. And the best thing that you can do as their trainer, or as their coach, as their trainer, is to figure out what that is. And that's going to be their motivating factor that drives them to stay with you. And when the going gets tough, when it's not as novel, fun, interesting anymore. It's a bit more work because they're not seeing as many gains as they did in the newbie gains in those first 90 days. So that peak attitude is the first one that earns you the right to be able to ask those questions. Then secondly is obviously building the rapport. So this is as simple as just a bit of small talk going into your initial consultation, but it's more than just asking questions for the sake of asking questions. It's using that art of active listening. So asking questions to the answer that they've given you and really having that intention of caring. So you generally want to know how you can help them. So if you think of an example where you yourself had a rough day or a rough month, or things aren't going as well, and there's a consultation that you've done in the past where you weren't really in it, that probably didn't go so well. Whereas if you have an inquiry, a lead come through, and you sit down with their consultation, you generally, whether they sign up or not, you want them to leave with some tools for success, so that worst case scenario, they end up making some changes themselves, whether they've paid you or not at that moment. Then that's when you'll tend to get a better results through down the line. And we'll get into more how we can keep the follow-ups, keep the check-ins going, so it looks authentic, that you're actually wanting to help the people that got in there. Most of us got into the fitness industry not to fill the bank accounts with tons of cash, because there's lots of easier ways to do that with a lot less hours of work. But so most of us got into it because we genuinely want to make a difference in people's lives. We've seen either how it's affected us or how it's affected other people, and we want to be able to give that gift to somebody else. So being authentic in your active listening, asking those questions to the answer they've given you, and making them feel comfortable. Like, one thing I think we forget as coaches or as trainers is that we're probably the most intimidating people when it comes to the gym environment, when it comes to wanting to make a change. And for us to let them know that we're human as well really helps with that consultation, with it, them being able to open up, to tell you what actually is the driving factor that brought them to you today. The third building block is the goal setting, and this is the meat and potatoes of the whole process. Like, you can fumble and bungle your way through the rest of it, but if you do a really good goal setting session with your client before you go out to the gym floor to do their movement assessment, to do the trial session, whatever it is, if you really hit the goals and the real reason why they want to come in, it's not about overcoming objections anymore at the end of the consult. It's about finding a solution to the problem that they have and how we can make that work. And it's as easy as them picking one of the following options that you have and something they can get started today. So if you can create those SMART goals, have those specifics, and you guys get a sense of that when I go through the role play with Tom, and set timeframes to create the urgency, create the excitement, create the hope that they have, then you are going to get more yeses than nos at the end of the day. It's going to be not that I can't do it. It's going to be more, how can I make this work? And once you're living in that space, that makes it a hell of a lot easier to retain your clients, to build your business, and keep your clients coming back for more and more. The next one then is providing the solutions. Obviously, we cannot provide solutions if we don't have the real goals why they want to join. So we also have to earn the right to provide the solutions, to give the advice we want, rather than just being the coach, the trainer, the drill sergeant that says you need to do this, otherwise you're not going to lose that weight. It's going to be more about providing the solutions to that specific personal goal that's going to make them take a right to go to your gym and not take the left on the way home from work to go chill and watch Netflix at home. So it can be something that they enjoy and something that they need to do as well. So it doesn't always have to be follow the science to get the results that you want to get. We can mix and match with things that really will get them to stick or adhere to the program. Because as we all know, the best program for someone is something that they adhere to. And people like to feel like they're progressing, feel like they're winning. and they tend to stick with those feelings of enjoyment and of happiness and of accomplishment. And if we're providing a service where they feel beat down, they don't feel like they're winning, they're kind of falling behind, then that's typically when they start to look for something else. They get bored, or they just don't want to show up anymore because they don't have that same feeling as they do when they get a sick Netflix doc that just pops up, or they're watching something else that's not going to be positive to their health and fitness. So starting with the needs assessment and the goal set, and the 4 key building blocks being that peak attitude, building the rapport, getting that goal set, and that being the major one, and then providing the solutions so they can achieve those goals. So the how and how we're going to get there. So the first part when it comes to the goal setting is the motivational interviewing. And this is really where you get to move your potential clients from contemplation to action. And we'll go over the behavior change model in a little bit, and what each of those steps means for our clients. But a lot of the times we have some people that come and see us and they're ready to go. They're all gung-ho, they're all in. They're like, here's my card, take my money. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Where we have others that know they need to make a change, but they're still kind of iffy. They still have questions. They're not too sure if personal training or joining the gyms for them. Cost of living's going up, so they're picking where they're spending their money, and they're not fully invested yet in what you have to offer. And this is where we really want to get the real reason why they've come in, because there's a reason. They didn't just drive back from Lidl, saw a gym, and then they're like, actually, you know what, I may just hop in there just for the sake of it. There's something that's happened the week before, the month before, the year before, and they finally made a decision to come into the gym or seek help at that point. So what is that real reason? And it can take time. You have to build a rapport, earn the trust, earn the right to find that reason. But if you're doing it in the right steps, and you're breaking down the walls, you're making yourself appear human, you'll tend to get the real reason pretty quickly. And then that's when you have a client that sticks with you for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. And if you decide to move somewhere else, it's heartbreaking to them. And that's where you're trying to build those raving fans and those followers. And it's also important to build the intrinsic motivation for the client, because at most you're seeing them 4 hours a week at the very most. On average, it's going to be about 2 hours a week. And there's another 160 odd hours in that week where they can undo all the work that you've been doing with them in the gym or virtually through your online coaching. So once you're able to create that image of the real reason why they've come in, build that intrinsic motivation for that client, when there's a decision for them to make, whether it's, are they going to go out in the tear tonight, or are they going to get an early night and recover for their session tomorrow, they have that image pop in their head where they're like, okay, no, I've got my session with John tomorrow. There's no way I'm hopping in and I'm going out in the tear tonight. Like, I want to achieve X. So it's really building that intrinsic motivation so that they continue down the path even when the going gets tough. Because as we all know in our own training regimens and other clients that we've probably worked with in the past, that sometimes it's easy to come in. You don't need much discipline to show up. But other times, like now, when it's Baltic out, the roads are icy, there's snow on the ground, like now is the time where people are like, you know what, it's probably nicer just to sit and have a glass of wine and watch a movie instead of trying to get out in the dark and the cold and show up for my session. So once we have that motivation built in to the client, then that's when you reduce the amount of no-shows, reduce the amount of cancellations, and have your people adhering to the program longer, harder, and sticking with you and seeing those results. And once they see the results, they're sticking with the program, then that's when they're talking to all their friends, they're talking to all their family members about what they're achieving with you and how it's the best thing they've ever done. Yeah, it can be a bit expensive, but in the long term, a year of personal training is is a lot cheaper than having to spend years and years going in and out of doctors' offices, taking medication, whatever it might be. And also, like I said, like sometimes the journey gets tough and it's not easy and exciting as it is at the start. So it allows you to help harder when things get tough in that journey and keep the clients on track, because there's that open communication between you and them. You know the real reason why they want to come in. If they've been training you for 6, 7, 8 months, they're probably spending more time with you than they are their own family, friends, and other loved ones. So they tend to rely on you and trust in you for that portion of their life as well. And once we get that specific thing that it is, where it's not necessarily increase energy, where it's not necessarily lose weight, it's not feel better, there's something deeper to that, then that's when you're able to really keep the clients and keep them going long term. So Tom, I guess now will be the time I'll get you to take off me, just do a quick run through on what this goal setting could look like. So I guess you just started your own fitness journey now, so feel free to use the goals that you had, or just pick ones out of the sky. But I guess typically the harder ones to dig into are just feel better, reduce health risks, or increase energy. So if you want to chuck one of those in there as well, just so it's not the easy ones like lose weight or build muscle or anything like that, then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, probably quite a true one for me. You mentioned knee pain earlier. I've had like 4 knee ops. So like my whole goal of going to the gym now and went through this process myself in the summer is I want to try and not get injured so much. Like I've got a bad shoulder at the moment, so I've always got something that I need to try and recover from. And I found out actually recently from physio that I'm hypermobile, which I didn't know was a thing that leads to a lot of injuries. Okay. So that's kind of my underlying goal, I guess.
Okay, perfect. So we'll work with that one. So let's say we'll set the scene. So you've come in, we've sat down, we've had a little chat on the phone to book your appointment, confirm your appointment, and you've come in now. So all right, Tom, welcome to the gym. What can I help you with today?
I want to get to a good position kind of physically and mentally where I feel I'm not always recovering from an injury and trying to avoid injury. So I think coming here is going to be one of the best solutions to doing that.
Okay, so good position physically and mentally. All right, so I guess let's start with the physical side of it, and then we'll get to the mental side of it. So good position physically. So can you just tell me a little bit more about that and what that means to you?
I still play football like quite regularly, and I'm always getting injured. And I think there's something that I can do to, whether it's to build up certain muscles around certain joints and get to a kind of good level of fitness that I can help reduce those risks. And yeah, as I kind of said a minute ago, I found out that I'm hypermobile, which leads to increased risk of injury.
Okay, perfect. So I mean, hypermobile isn't necessarily the worst thing, but it just means that we need to keep you strengthen the areas and create that stability in there, so that when you go into external rotation, that your arm doesn't go all the way back, and then you increase that shoulder pain that you got. Yeah. But okay, so you play football. So how long have you been playing football for?
At this kind of level, about 16, 17 years.
Okay.
But yeah, for life, really, I would say.
And I guess on an average season, how often are you getting injured and have to stop playing?
Twice probably. Like, yeah, at the moment it's the shoulder. And yeah, last year a bit of a bad back, and yeah, there's always something.
There's always something.
Yeah, I'd say there's like always 2 periods across the season where I'm missing a series of games.
Okay, and typically how long will you be out for?
A couple of weeks to a couple of months. So at the moment it's been about a month. Last played middle of November, but yeah, shoulder hasn't allowed me since.
Okay, so I guess now middle of November, so it's been about a month, like you said, that you've been out. So have you noticed any differences in your like, I guess, in your mental space or in your own physical, how you feel physically when you're taking the time off from football when you're injured?
A little bit, yeah. I'm still trying to keep quite active, so I'm managing to do a few things. But yeah, I guess mentally, it's I miss the everything that goes with playing a team sport. So I miss that on that side of things. I think physically, if I'm not playing that regularly, I probably find my weight fluctuates a bit more. I think doing the cardio once or twice a week, running around a pitch is good for me. Much prefer that than jumping on a treadmill, for example.
Okay. And I guess, what position do you play in football?
Nowadays, left back.
Okay, Luke Shaw, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess, so when you're playing on the pitch, like, what's your favorite thing about playing left back? Like, when's the moment when you're like, okay, this is my man of the match performance?
I think being able to contribute still, even from left back, so kind of getting involved, getting up and down the pitch, being involved at the other end rather than conceding goals, I guess.
Okay. Do you have any goals or assists this year so far?
Good question. Yeah, 1 goal, 2 assists in about 5 games before injury struck.
There we go. All right. What's that? So when you knock a ball in and get the assist, or when you bang it in the back of the net, what's that feeling like for you?
Feel like being a kid again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's something you can't replace once, I guess, when you're injured, right?
No, exactly.
Okay. All right. And what's been your best season for contributions, for goals and assists from left back? I guess in more recent times, not necessarily. We don't have to go back 16 years.
This probably isn't far off best, actually. Yeah, always a couple of assists, very rarely on the score sheet. But yeah, this probably was going well until about a month ago.
Okay. And was there anything that kicked off the injury, or is it just like?
Yeah, I fell on my arm from a height, going into a tackle, blocking a ball, and kind of went over and landed on my left arm.
Okay, painful. Jeez. All right. When do you hope to be back?
I don't know. I'm kind of being led a little bit by the physio, who's recommending I maybe go and get a scan. But realistically, kind of in the new year, like January time, mid-January would be nice. But I think that's probably a bit optimistic.
Okay. All right, perfect. And then, so I guess, so football is obviously a main motivation for you when it's coming to your physical health. Is there anything outside of football that you're really wanting to train for, to be healthy for, to be a better version of you for?
I guess so. I guess probably I'm getting to an age where it's not as easy to stay fit and healthy. So I think I need to kind of keep on top of that.
Okay. And when you say fit and healthy, what you mean? Because that's different for everybody else. So what's that for you?
Again, it's kind of linked back to football, I guess. Be able to still compete with people 15 years my junior, but I guess getting to an age where, as I said, it's harder to maintain that fitness and maybe keep the waistline down, for example. So any little thing I can do to help that, would be good. Okay.
So I guess, was there a moment, I guess, before you've showed up to the gym today, before like you've really got back into playing football, where you weren't really feeling your best and the waistline wasn't ideal, your energy levels weren't ideal? Was there a moment in recent times where that was the case?
Yeah, probably around the springtime. So yeah, a few months back. It's probably one of the key moments that spurred me to being here, was kind of feeling that I wasn't happy with that.
Okay. And what was that moment when that popped into your head that you needed to seek help or wanted to do something different? Were you looking in the mirror? What did you put on a shirt? Like, which one was it?
Yeah, it's probably putting a suit on that I hadn't worn for a while. That's always one that triggers
Okay.
things, I guess.
What were you putting the suit on for?
I had a black tie dinner, and I can't remember what it was for. But yeah, don't crack out the tux very often. And that was the moment.
Okay. Do we have a time coming up where we might need to whip out the black tux again?
Yeah, probably around the same time of year, like springtime again. So yeah, a few
Okay.
months away.
Have you put it on again recently?
No.
Okay. Out of fear or just no need?
No need.
No need. Okay. Okay. And then I guess the last part there is just like good position mentally. So I guess when was the time where you weren't feeling that great mentally, and what was happening then?
It's probably a time like now where I haven't got the physical capability to do everything I want to do. So, I've obviously talked about football. Whilst my shoulder is sore at the moment, I do get some pain from it. I'm actually still able to swing a golf club, but the kind of everything I'd like to do day to day, even like putting on a jacket, is a bit sore. So kind of mentally, just it wears me down a little bit. Kind of always getting the reminder of that.
Yeah, and it can be draining, always being in a slight state of discomfort, where it's just drains
and
your
it's
energies.
the thought that if a scan points me one way and it looks like surgery and 6 weeks in a sling, that's kind of mentally, I don't really want to think about that. So if we can avoid that, that'd be great.
Okay, perfect. And okay, so we've gone through that. Now, is there anything else that you think would be important for me to know? Because now what we'll do is we're actually gonna get out onto the floor. We're gonna do our quick workout that's catered to what you've just said here, and then show you the options that we have to continue long term. Because it sounds like this is something you want to build upon. Would that be right?
Yeah. I know it's going to take time as well. It's never going to be a quick fix, but no, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, kind of a good background there of how I've arrived to this point.
Okay, so just to recap, so what we're going to get out to the gym floor right now. We're going to build this session now towards you, so I'll let you go and get changed for that. But everything that we're doing from here on in for the next 12 months, 2 years, however long that it takes, is going to be based around you being able to stay physically active, and then in that case being mentally sharp as well, because you've had your injuries twice a year on average, where it's just it's draining you. And we're going to be building everything so that when you're back playing left back, knocking in the balls, getting the assists, banging in the goals, you have that feeling on a Sunday afternoon after getting the man of the match performance, where you feel like kingpin walking off the pitch, people wanting to switch jerseys with you on Sunday League. That's what we're building everything towards, so that you don't have this fear of surgery coming up again. You don't have to take time off twice in a season, or having a month where you can't get that feeling of alpha, that feeling of dominance, where you're banging in goals and you're crossing in balls. So this is everything that we're going to be building towards, and this is what we're going to be showing the training options for moving forward. Sound good, Tom?
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
Beauty. So that is it in a nutshell. And in some cases, probably a lot more time spent on those two goals as maybe some of you are doing right now, and maybe some of you are going in that deep. And if you are, excellent. That's what it's all about. But the idea in this quick little example here was to find that snippet of what's going to drive Tom to continue to show up. So if you're looking at the motivational interviewing questions there on the side, you'll notice that there's one section on the disadvantages of the status quo, and then the other 3 sections are all questions on the advantages of change, the optimism about change, the intention to change. So there's a lot more focus on the hope and optimism about the future, rather than just staying in the frustrations or the negativity of the current situation. So we really want to keep leaning on the what can happen, how we can make it work, what is going to happen. So the image that I've really tried to put in Tom's head now is is him banging in a ball, getting in an assist, or banging in a goal for the winning goal in a cup final or something like that. Where now when he has the decision to, is he going to show up on a cold December night for his session, or is he just going to go straight home after work, that he's excited to show up to the gym because he's frustrated with his injuries. He knows he wants to make a change. He knows how it affects him mentally. And now he's excited for the plan that we have coming up. And if we can go out into the floor for that demo session, that movement assessment, after building this motivation up and showing them this is what it could look like if we train together, then you're more likely going to be coming to the price presentation with a solutions focused client rather than an objections focused client. So this is the behavior change model. So one thing to remember is that not everyone is in a state of action right away. So we really need to help our members and our clients get into that space. And if we're looking at the stages of behavior change, so just to give you a recap of what they look like. So pre-contemplation, this would be someone that's not even thinking about the gym right now. They drive by one every day. They don't even notice it. It's not even in their mind in any shape or form. Then we have the contemplation. So in the example with Tom, this would have been him back in springtime, noticing his waistline's getting a bit thicker than he'd like. He's not fitting into his suit. He's getting injured with playing football, and he's thinking that he kind of needs to make a change here. Preparation is once they've actually shown up. They've shown up, they've called you, they've made an inquiry, they're coming in for an assessment or a consultation to see if the options work for them. And it's between the preparation and the action stage is where we can really help with the goal setting and showing them what their plan's going to look like. And then it's our job to take them from action to maintenance. So once we've got them into action, then it's about keeping them there with bringing to that real reason why they've showed up, to get them to that stage of maintenance where after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years, sometimes you get clients that just want to be lifers with you, and they could do it themselves, but they prefer your company and want to be able to do it with you as well. So we take our clients and our members through this journey, whether it's from when they're in preparation, so when they come in and inquire about what the prices are, how much is the thing that you do, and then take them into that action when they sign on the dotted line, get a membership, do PT 2, 3, 4 times a week, whatever it might be. And then we take them into maintenance. But in saying that, they don't always convert from a state of preparation to action on the day. As we all know, we don't get yeses every single time someone comes in. So we can work on bringing them from preparation to action in an hour, in a day, in a month, or in a year. So in an hour, it's about by just doing great goal setting, motivational interviewing, breaking down the walls and the nerves that they have when they're coming in to inquire about the gym. Like I said, we are the most intimidating people to people that want to make a change, that aren't used to coming into the gym. They're not used to exercising. They know they're not going to be good at it at the start. So this is where we can help them by building that rapport and creating that trust. But sometimes they don't say yes on the day. So we can do this in a day, in a couple days, by calling up for a follow-up appointment to have a trial of the service. But where the magic really happens is in that month or a year, where you're doing monthly check-ins or reassessments. So when I was just starting off and building my client base, every time I would have an inquiry and I do one of my consultations, do the needs assessment, whether they said yes or no, I was always going to be checking in on them with a month. So if they said no, they'd be booked in 4 weeks from the day to come in and do a quick check-in, a quick reassessment, see how they are doing. If you have a tinnitus scale, get them on the tinnitus scale. If it's just video analysis, then it's video analysis. If we're looking at some programs that they're doing, and it's the programs that they're doing. But the main objective was to get them to adhere to exercise, because we all know how we feel if we don't work out for a week, for 2 weeks. or even in Tom's case where he's not even able to play football for a month, and that's affecting him now as well. But it's like, we all know how it affects us in a week. So if we can get our people that are in preparation, and even if their action is just them showing up to the gym 2 times a week, 3 times a week, and they start to feel better, the next time you have that check-in or that reassessment with them, they're a lot more comfortable with the gym environment. They know that you're generally caring and have the intention of caring about what they want to achieve. So if we're doing that on a monthly basis, regardless of the outcome, it shows that we're not just in it to take their money. We're generally here to help them. And you want them to be thinking of you when you're making those monthly check-ins. So when they're in that state of action, then they come in and knock on your door, ring your phone, and say that they're ready to go. Can I do this option that you showed me last time? I'll give you a quick anecdote to it, and then we'll go on. So there's this one member that I was working with back in Toronto. So this would have been about 10 years ago now. And she was one of those clients which I guess you'd say there was no way she was going to be doing personal training. There was no way she was doing one-on-one personal training. She wasn't really invested in it. Her husband controlled all the money. Her husband really didn't want her to be going to the gym either. But I knew that if I didn't help or give some direction on a monthly basis, that she would just never show up to the gym again. And the issues that she was having were still going to be issues moving forward. So once a month, I give her 20 minutes of my time, give her a few exercises to do, what she could do twice a week whenever she was able to go in. And we just kept doing that. We got her on the Tanita scale. We do little check-ins, see how she's going. And we just kept checking in. I did this for 7 months. So month after month, we just did it with no intention of her signing up at all. It was just a nice thing to do. It's why I became a personal trainer in the first place. So why don't I just do this? It's not costing me anything except about 20 minutes once a month. Then it was on a Thursday. I think we did our 7th monthly check-in, and I was going out food shopping on a Sunday, and I get a phone call on Sunday morning. It was her. And she said, Alex, I think I'm ready to do this now. And she came in the Monday morning at 7 a.m. and I had options where you could do bi-weekly payments or you could pay in full. She chose to pay in full for 12 months of training 3 times a week. So 144 sessions, she just paid, bang, done. And this wouldn't have happened if I wasn't just checking in monthly, just giving her out of the goodness of my heart just something to do. There was no intention. I didn't think she was going to buy 3 sessions, let alone 144 sessions. So that's just a little anecdote. Like, if you're generally caring about someone's progress in what they want to achieve, and you feel for their situation that they've got going on, then that's when you get clients that stay with you for the long term, because they know it's bigger than you, it's bigger than them. You're just helping them along the way, and they want to do it with you. So once you have them at a client, we want to be able to get them to see success by creating new habits and building that, I guess, habit database where we're adding things into their lifestyle where it makes it a bit easier for them and works towards their fitness goals that they share to you in the goal setting. So in order to build that, we can't just only follow on complex and routine tasks, or simple and routine tasks, or complex and novel tasks. We have to be able to go back and forth. So if we have a new client coming in, for example, a simple and routine task is them just showering in the morning before they go to work. That's low skill, low motivation. You just do it because it's a normal thing to do, right? But a simple and novel behavior would be them showing up to the gym for the first time, or we're starting them on a step count to do that, not like that NEAT or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so burning calories through doing other things. So if we're keeping things simple. So like just showing up to the gym, or simple but novel. So going for a little 10-minute walk after meals, and we keep going back and forth between these, then we're letting them get that win. So if you remember, people stick with things that they enjoy, that they feel they're winning. Like Tom wouldn't keep playing football if he wasn't banging in goals at left back. Even though he gets injured the whole time, he still gets out and does it, because it's what makes him feel like he's living life, he's crushing life. So we want to give him things to win, and then give them things that are a bit more complex and a bit more novel. So for example, starting a new training block for a client that's been showing up the whole time. This is what keeps it interesting, but also gives them a challenge to go back and forth. Or complex but routine tasks. So show it. So a new client just showing up for their sessions consistently for the entire month. If they're with you 2 times a week, then they show up for their whole 8 sessions. So by building those habits, by adding in simple things that are novel, and then once they've built up their confidence, getting a bit more complex, where they feel that sense of achievement, and they're earning the right to move across that behavior change model. So when we're trying to create new habits, such as getting clients to adhere to a program, getting them to build other lifestyle factors in, we want to start as small as we possibly can. So, and this goes for all of us if we're wanting to create new habits as well, like reading more at night, or doing more steps or cardio, or whatever it is that we want to add into our lifestyle. But when it goes the same for the clients as well. So when you're talking with your clients about adding in lifestyle goals, or things that they're going to be doing outside of the gym to better their results inside the gym, think of it as, what would you be able to do on your most stressful day? Like, what's one thing you could do towards this habit? So for example, if it's getting your steps in, what's one step that you can do that you know will help towards this lifestyle change? So for getting the steps in, like saying that you're going to go out and walk to the end of the street and back, maybe even too big. So you know, on their most stressful day, if they just put their runners by their bed, that's something you can do no matter how bad your day is or anything like that. And then once you wake up in the morning, you see the shoes by your bed, then it's like, oh, okay, I guess I can just go walk out the door. This could be as drinking more water. So something like that. It's like, everyone will always have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee first thing in the morning. If you know they're going to be doing that, and that's one of their routine things that they do all the time, like, if you remember, it's simple and routine, then we put in something that's simple and novel. So by the kettle, I'm going to put a glass of water, so I know I need to drink that as the kettle boils. And then they start drinking more water. So it's really bringing it back to the smallest little thing that they can do. And this doesn't necessarily need to be something that happens every single day. Like when clients show up, sometimes they're like, I'm going to train 5 times a week. I'm not going to eat any carbs. I'm just going to have salads and chicken breast and broccoli. That's all I'm having. That's not going to be sustainable. That's when they'll do it for a week, 2 weeks, then the willpower will crash, and then they'll go back to their old ways. Whereas if we're able to incrementally bring this in, then we're getting clients that are sticking with the lifestyle changes along the journey. So for example, like if we are trying to get people to work on their non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so their neat calories that they're burning, and we want them to get their steps in. So if they went out for a walk 2 times in the week, but they never did that before, and they never did that in the month previous at all, that's a 200% increase from the previous week. Like that's a win. We see that in anything else, like we're over the moon. So if we can coach our clients into celebrating the incremental steps along the way, like other people will be in different positions in their journey where 2 times a week walking is just far too small. But for a lot of people, like this is as small as we can and need to start, because then they're getting those wins along the way. And success drives success, and it builds into the next one, into the next one, into the next one. So when you're looking at lifestyle changes for your clients, start small and have those tiny steps that they can do on their most stressful day. Like, the roads are icy, they've crashed the car, the baby won't stop crying, they ran out of nappies. What can you do then? I could put my shoes by my bed. That's fine. You don't even have to go walk. Just put the shoes by the bed and start from there. So when we're talking about the plans moving forward, this is just something I had with my clients, kind of a little one pager of their 4 phases of training. And I kind of worked along the lines of skill acquisition, acceleration phase, specialization, and then to some advanced training. But I put this slide up, like, we're not going to go into the periodization side of things, so we don't have that much. Sorry, guys. Hey. Sorry about that, guys. So we're not going to go through everything, but this is just an idea of the setting the scene that you have 12 months of training ahead of you. So this is the expectation when it comes to the clients. It's not going to be a quick fix. We're not going to do it in 90 days, but that we can stick with the program month to month to month, and how it changes throughout the way. But the main thing I wanted to show you is the personalized plan. So it gives them something to follow, something to get excited about, and then you have full transparency about how long the journey will take. So if you're looking towards the different phases here, and we have the duration along the side, 1 to 6 weeks, you have 7 to 19, we have the dates aligned there. But the big thing here is that we have movement, lifestyle, result, and personal in each and every phase. So the movement, the lifestyle is self-explanatory. So you have, for example, for the skill acquisition, I have grooving primal movement patterns. For the lifestyle, it's the simplest thing that we can do. Just show up for the session. I don't want you to do anything else outside of it. Just show up. The results are everything that you can measure within the gym. So weight on the bar, weight in the scale, Tanita scale if you have one of those, measurements if you're taking measurements. Those are all the things that you can measure within the gym. But for a lot of our clients, they don't really care about the jargon behind it, the science behind it. They just want to know what's in it for them. So the personal is everything that phase will do for them outside of the gym. So in Tom's case, like his skill acquisition, we're going to be still grooving the primal movement patterns, make sure he's strong and stable in the different positions so that we can keep that stability, because he has the hypermobility issue. First thing he's doing is just showing up for the session, because he's been out of the groove for the last little while. And then what he'll see is an increase in energy and reduced pain, because we're now training these primal movement patterns properly and doing it and grooving the pattern, so he knows how to move in the correct range of motion. And the personal for him would be that at this point, his pain in the shoulder should be gone. He just needs to, his pain in the shoulder should be gone. We can get him back to playing football in January, which is what he wants. So we're putting that, what's in it for them, through every single phase along the way. And you can put things in like birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas parties, holidays, whatever it is that's coming through. It's personal to them, and it has something that excites them and why they're training in that phase. So when they don't want to show up for their 3rd or 4th session in the week, they see this one page and they're like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. There's clarity on the duration, the frequency, the movements, the lifestyle throughout each phase. And I would be doing either check-ins monthly or after each phase with the clients as well, to see how the progress is going, see what they like the most, see what I can affirm with them, what I was most impressed with as well, and that we're all on the same page working towards the goals that we have on this sheet as well. So as you guys probably all read, if you guys have read any leadership books or books on specific athlete icons that you have, the biggest driver of success in any leadership book or athlete book is desire, hard work, and perseverance. So desire, if we're looking at the aspect of our clients, that's them coming in on day one, ready to show up, They know they need to make a change. Their waistline's getting too big. They're constantly in pain. They don't have the energy that they used to. That's the desire, and that's the goal setting portion. That's what we can build within the client. The second is hard work. So it's not always going to be easy showing up, and we want to make that clear to the client as well. But that's where we come in. We make the hard work as easy as possible. It's not going to be easy the whole time, but we help make the hard work easier. And then the perseverance. So that's why we want to really get that specific image, that real goal, why they want to do it. Like, for going back to Tom's example with the goals and the assists, it's like that feeling that we're able to generate through the goal setting within him is what's going to help the perseverance of the client. Because if you have 15, 20, 30 clients, you can't be with them all the time to help them make the right decision to get the results that they want to get. So building that image and that feeling through the goal setting and reverting back to it in your monthly check-ins or your follow-ups after a certain block's been completed will help breed that perseverance within them. So then after your 12 months of trading with you, then they've got the results, they love what they're doing, and they're happy because it's the best decision that they've made moving forward. And I think I got there under the buzzer before 1 o'clock, Tom.
Just about, yeah.
With a fire alarm and a dog barking. Sorry about that.
Is that what it was? I couldn't make it out.
It was
no, don't worry. Does anybody have any questions for Alex? No, nice and straightforward. But yeah, thanks, Alex. Some really good pointers there on kind of how to increase those retention rates. Probably a bit too much information on my medical background, I think, as well in that interview. But I think we're kind of certainly at a time of year where retention is really important, if not more important than gaining new business, just as we kind of come to that kind of Christmas wind down and then looking to January. I'm conscious of time. Just if anyone didn't have any questions, it'd be good time to wrap up. As I said yesterday, there'll be a short survey sent around at the end of the week, which will give you the opportunity to feedback on these sessions and request more info from any of our guest speakers. And going into next year, we'll be looking to host more of these sessions on various topics. So please stay tuned for those. Big thank you to Alex and for all of you guys for joining. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow when we've got Charlie from Fitness Marketing Agency with us. So thank you so much.
Cool.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Alex.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Recording now.